Hey everybody, this is Dan McGee. Welcome to my garage. Happy 4th of July 2020. A lot of fireworks out there last couple days. I know Bridgeview had an awesome one. I seen some of the videos of it. And from my house, I live in Justice. I was able to see them all the way from here. And that's a few miles away. Pretty cool. I remember when I was little. Well, I was younger. I'm still little. But we used to go to SOUTHFIELD to watch the fireworks. We would park in a parking lot there, and there would be I can't remember. I think they just let them. It would be what would that be? The northwest corner before all those businesses were there. That was just an open lot, and I think they were set up there, but I'm not positive. There wasn't a field across the street. There could have been, but again, I can't remember. So, anyways, 4th of July, 2020. So, who remembers the Bicentenial, 1976? If I'm not mistaken, Bridgeview had a Bicentennial celebration, and it was in, I think it was in Wurzba Park, if I'm not mistaken. And it was pretty cool. They had bands there, and then they had, they moved the fireworks over there, but again, I can't remember actually. Maybe the people that lived around there and that area in the 1970s could remember, and maybe they could just fill us in a little about it, what they remember about it. But I just know Bridgeview always had a really great fireworks. It was usually put on by the Park District. But I guess this year they did it at, it used to be called Toyota Park, and now it's SeatGeek Park, 71st and Harlem there. And from what I seen in the video I seen, it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to just reminisce a little bit about fireworks and growing up there. But you know what? Also, I wanted to talk about Sheridan. Well, let's start from that corner. There was Kmart. Kmart was there, and I remember when it first opened. I can't remember what year it was, but up until that opened, we used to go to SOUTHFIELD, and there used to be an SS Kresge store there, and we would for like odds and ends kind of stuff they had. I'm not sure if they had clothing and stuff, but what I do remember was they had like a pretty cool cheap toy department. So my mom would go in there for whatever she needed, but she would always buy me like a dollar toy or whatever it was. But oh, I know what it had. It had like a little like an eatery too. Kresge's did. And I'm not actually sure if we ever ate there, but I know that when Kmart was actually owned by the SS Kresge Corporation. That's where the K comes from, Kresge. But that was a pretty awesome store at the time, and then Walmart kind of came in and cannibalized the market, which is kind of sad. But anyhow, what I liked about it is Kmart was one of those stores where you could get anything in there, and anything there. And I remember there was a set of apartments just off of, it would probably be equivalent to like 79 and a half or something. It was between 79th and 80th Street, and that's where you would go in, or else you would come off of 79th Street. Well, there was departments that ran there, and I would always go when I walked up there. I would always go past those apartments and look for money. Actually, the weeds were kind of high there, so if anybody dropped any money out of their pocket, it would blow to a certain amount, and then it would get caught in that weeds. Well, I would find $1 here and there, but hardly ever. But one time I was walking through there and I found $5. It was like the haul of my lifetime. I couldn't believe it. So I was able to, I went up there with, I think I had no money, but I was just going up there. And I'm pretty sure I was there with Greg Kresge, because that was when we were hanging together for a while. And he couldn't believe it. I can't remember if it was Greg or if it was Butchie Thomason. It could have been either one, or it could have been both. But anyhow, they couldn't believe that I found $5. They thought I was just kidding with them, and I just brought it with. Anyhow, I did end up finding it, and it was awesome. So I ended up being able to go in there and go eat at the little eatery in the back of the store. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but there weren't a whole lot of things you could do in Bridgeview at that time. I think there was Denny's was there, but they were kind of on the expensive side for the amount of money we had. Pizza Hut, if you had a taste for Pizza Hut, everybody would pitch in a couple dollars and we'd get a pizza. And I can't remember what else was around there. There was Duke's, but that was across Harlem, which I never ventured across Harlem. It was just too many cars, and I didn't want to deal with that. But anyhow, so we ended up going to the eatery, and I think I had enough money to where I treated people even. I can't remember. I'm probably making that part up just to make myself, sound like I'm very generous. But yeah, we'll just say I did. But anyway, I really did find the $5 though. So anyways, that's Kmart. I actually, I know why. I loved Kmart because fishing stuff. They had the fishing stuff in the back of the store, which was not too far from where the eatery was. And anytime we would go on a fishing trip, or we would go fishing, we would always go in there and bring a couple dollars and buy a new lure. So that was, I used to love their fishing department, their sports department. But that was my big memories of Kmart. Oh, I know what, there was White Castle too, but we would go, our family would go there, so it wouldn't really have been a treat. Oh, getting back to what I'd order at Kmart, they had these awesome sub sandwiches there. So you could go in there and get a sub sandwich for, I can't even remember what it was. I think it was under $1. But it wasn't like a giant foot-long thing. But for what it was very tasty. It was a couple pieces of meat, nice bun, tomato, lettuce, cheese. Your usual sub, But anyhow, all right, all over the place. Driving like crazy right now, so I'm swerving in and out of conversation. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Now I wanted to talk about, at the time it was called the Fun Fair. Now it's called Haunted Trails. Well, the Fun Fair was this awesome place. It was before they had rides out in front. It was pretty much was pinball machines, miniature golf, and the baseball, where you hit the baseball, hit the baseballs. So anyhow, we would go up there and play miniature golf, and I'm pretty sure you could play a round of golf for 75 cents per person. Well, you would pay your 75 cents, and I can't remember how many holes it was, but it was really fun, actually. And at the very end, you could, there was like, it kind of looked like sort of like a pinball machine, actually. And you would take your ball, and it would be like an enclosed thing with glass, and you would hit it from this little T thing, and it would go up like it would go up like a pinball machine and come down. And if it went into a certain hole, a bell would go off, and then you would win a free game. So that was at the very last hole. That was the very last hole. So once you hit it, it went in that machine. You never seen that ball again. Well, we discovered that a lot of people hit the ball and it would flare, it would like veer off, and it would go like underneath the fence. There was around Haunted Trails / Fun Fair, there was like this drop off kind of ditch that went around, and there would always be a couple balls that were sitting in that ditch. So before we would go pay for the money, or pay our money to go in there, we would go and gather up any balls that we could find. So at the last hole, we'd have more than one chance to try to win a free game. So I know one time there was only a few of us. I can't remember who it was. It was more than likely it was me, Phyllis, Jimbo, Peaches, because that would have been about the time, and that's we were kids and we used to hang out together. So, but again, you know what? It could have been Greg again, because there was this. This was probably later, my early teens, and that's when we used to hang together, and we used to drive our bikes up there. So yeah, it wasn't Jimbo and Phyllis and Peaches. It would have been the Creasy's more than likely. But anyways, we picked up the balls, and when we would go in, and at the last hole, we'd have a bunch of shots to win games. So sometimes we, have 3-4 times to shoot that thing up, and no one knew any different, because the person that was, working the area that controlled the golf area, he had to do change and stuff for the arcade. So he would be there and back and forth, so he wasn't really watching. But anyways, we would do that, and we'd win some free games. So that was pretty awesome. But back in the 70s now, they were truly pinball machines. They weren't nothing like the games that they have nowadays with with the electronics and all that. These were just the ball, you hit the ball, has the paddles, and I was horrible at it. I enjoyed it, but the only game that I played even kind of good, there was this it was probably one of the older games in there, and it was an old baseball game, and it was like so worn out that where it came out, where the ball came out originally to start the game, was like the pitcher's mound. So the ball would come out, and you'd flip the thing, and if it hit certain area, you'd get a home run, or third base, first base, whatever. But anyways, that was my game. But there were kids that would bring a couple quarters, and they would play all day. I would be lucky if I brought 75 cents and I played 3 games and I was done. because I pretty much sucked at it. But it was fun watching other people play. But anyways, you know what? I was going to talk a little bit about Sheridan Drive-In, but I think I'm going to save that because the video is kind of getting long already. And I'd like to hear or read in the comments some of the things you remember about that area: Kmart, Kresge's, Fun Fairs / Haunted Trails. So to close it out, I've been working real hard on a 4th of July song. So I hope you like it. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Yeah! Nailed it.